Welcome back. This is day 3 of the Facebook Ads Masterclass, and today we are going to be talking about engaging your audience. Now, we've covered how you need to know that your offer is something that people actually want and that your lead magnet connects to that offer in some way, but not just connects to it, connects to them in the stage of awareness that they're currently in. We've talked about installing the pixel, and we've talked about figuring out how to use the pixel to retarget and also how to map your customer for cold traffic. But today we are actually going to dive into that strategy that I was telling you is what's working right now in 2018. So I'm really excited to share this with you. And then tomorrow we'll go into the ads manager, we'll put all of it together, and we're going to press that little green launch button so you can see the results that you're going to get from the work you've done over the last couple of days. So let's get started. The first thing I want to cover is something called the 80-20 rule or the Pareto principle. And basically all this says is that you're going to see 80% of your results from 20% of your efforts. And this applies to a lot of things in life, but it applies perfectly to Facebook ads. And the reason is because not everything that you try is going to work. And that's okay. It doesn't have to. So I need you to get in the right mindset of acknowledging that there are some ads that you're going to launch that aren't going to work, but these kinds of tests are important so that you can learn and then iterate on what does work and scale up what does work for future campaigns. All right, so that's the first thing. Now I want to talk about actually building your ad. So what you're going to do is you're going to build a 60-second video ad. That's the format that you need to use today. And you need to either educate, tell a story, give testimonials, or have your clients record a short little testimonial video. Overcome objections. That's you talking in 60 seconds about, hey, this is my thing, and I know you think it's either too expensive or too confusing or, whatever the objections your customer has, you're gonna overcome those objections in 60 seconds, real quick video, or prime with a question. And I've used this a lot as well, which is just starting off the video with are you a digital marketer? Are you a coach or consultant looking for more high quality traffic? Depending upon what your niche is, that question is something that your audience is going to answer a resounding yes. They want to immediately hear that, and they're going to hear it and say yes. Not maybe, not but yes, this is me. She's talking to me. So these are some of the options that you can use for the video. Now, you don't need a fancy camera. You don't need to make this complicated, and I'm going to explain why. But first, let's talk about the script, what you're going to say after you pick one of these topics. The conversion, the sale, it lies with the conversation that you have with your customer. And that conversation, which is in the checklist below this video, is going to be why me? Why now? Why should I work with you and not somebody else? Why should I care? What's the before and after transformation that you're actually going to give me if I, work with you or if I get this lead magnet? That is so important. If you have social proof, add that in there as well. What you've done, what your experience is, who you've worked with, who you've helped, and end with a very strong call to action. A couple of my first videos, I was just like, hey, I have this, this webinar or this class. It's going to talk about this. I hope you'll join me. Bye. And actually saying, click the button below, click the link above is really, really effective. And that's why you hear a lot of these YouTubers, like the first thing they say is subscribe to my channel, drop a like, drop a comment. You have to actually have a very strong call to action. So that's what you're going to do, 60 seconds. Pick one of those topics, then you are going to answer the script that I just laid out about, one of these questions, And again, you don't need a fancy camera. You don't need to make this complicated. Pick up your smartphone, record yourself, and just be authentic, be personable, be human. A lot of being a coach or a consultant or even a course creator, it's about people saying like, there's a lot of other people doing this right now, but oh, there's my dog. There's a lot of other people doing this right now, but I want to work with this person, like I can relate to this person. And like I said, 10 years ago, if people wanted to get a product or a service, they'd usually go look for a big brand, and that's just not how it is anymore. And it's okay that you're not going to, resonate with everyone, and that not everyone's going to like the way you talk, not everyone's going to like the way you look. People are going to judge you. People are going to, make comments sometimes. That's fine. Those aren't your customers. And the people who you actually want to work with, even if you're doing like one-to-one services, if you're a virtual assistant or a copywriter, you have to understand that there are a lot of people doing the exact same thing. And what's going to differentiate you is, yes, your case studies, you don't want to compete on price. You want to compete on, hey, I have, this is my track record. This is what I've done. I can bring you results, but most importantly, you and I are going to work well together. And video does that phenomenally. So, important thing to note, in the first 3 seconds of this 60-second video, you have to have what's called a pattern disrupt. If you've seen one of my ads, you'll notice that I'm either waving my hands, or I have my dog in my ad, or I'll immediately be like, hey, can I tell you something, or can I show you something? I spark some curiosity. You have to have some sort of pattern disrupt. I'm sure you've heard that the attention span of people online is like 8 seconds. So, and even offline, I think. So if you're not doing something that's immediately grabbing their attention, that's compelling them to want to sit up and pay attention to you, you're going to lose them. So in the first 3 seconds, ask that powerful question, spark curiosity, some sort of movement, something unusual, so that they stop and actually listen to what you have to say. Now, if you're thinking, oh my God, I cannot imagine myself on video, please tell me that there is another way. There is. There are other options. Again, this is my number one recommendation for coaches, for consultants, for course creators, and for one-to-one service providers. But if you absolutely can't imagine yourself on camera, if you think like, I'm terrible, I'm not personable, I'm gonna bomb, this is gonna hold me back, then you can try doing either Fiverr.com. You can actually hire a paid actor for like $10 who already bought the DSLR camera, who already has the setup, and they will record that video for you using your script. Or you can go to a site that I've used quite a lot. There's a free version, but it's got a watermark on it, which doesn't look that professional. And then there's a paid version, but it's $99 a year. So I think for the price point, it's worth it. And you can do explainer videos. You can do, you get like a bunch of stock, video stock footage from Shutterstock, which normally is really expensive to purchase. So you can go ahead and use that. And it's super, super easy. I mean, if you are allergic to tech, I promise you, this is like the easiest drag and drop. You will have a video in like 5 minutes. So those are two options that you can use to get some video out there where you don't have to physically be on camera. Another option is, and this is for everyone, you have to give value first, but if you don't want to be direct to camera, you could be teaching something where it's just a slide deck for 60 seconds or 2 minutes. You could be like, I'm going to show you this, but it's got to be some really compelling content. It's got to have like an opening image that really gets people to stop and listen. So you could try that by educating your audience on something, and then you don't have to be like a little talking head the way you see me right now. But either way, you're supposed to be giving value, and you're giving value in a way where you are not asking for anything in return. And this is called the no opt-in retargeting strategy. I haven't come up with a super fancy name for it yet, but this is basically what it is. You may have seen some ads by people where it's like, check this out, no opt-in, you can get it right now for free. It's really rare. Most of the time, if you want to get something from someone online today, you have to sign up for their email list. But the reason why people are doing this is because they have the Facebook pixel on their website. So maybe they're offering something on their website. You go to the website, you don't have to opt in, you download whatever it is that they're offering, and then they pixel you and they retarget you with something else. And this is really effective. Before, you used to be able to do it with just blog posts. So you would send traffic to a blog post, and then you would either have some sort of content upgrade in that blog post where it was like, oh, you're reading this blog post about XYZ, download this checklist or whatever, and then the person would capture the email there. But this was like a really long-winded process that is just not working anymore because, people drop off before they even get to the blog post, or people are just not that interested in, reading your post, or they don't opt in for your content upgrade, so you've lost that traffic. But if you have a really powerful lead magnet and you're willing to give it away for free, it's all free, but no opt-in, you put that on your website, make sure the pixel is on that page, you run an ad to that, and again, it's got to be really powerful so that people are like, wow, this is amazing. Not only is she giving me this value, I don't even have to put in my email, I can just immediately get on the website and download the PDF. Then you'll be able to retarget these people. So that is one way that you can do it. The other way is just through the video. And it's also a no opt-in retargeting strategy because people are going to see that video, and then you're going to be able to retarget them by telling Facebook, make me an audience of people that have watched 75% or more of this 60-second video. So if the video is 60 seconds, usually you don't want it to be retarget people who only watched the first 3 seconds or the first 10 seconds. You want to get in the 50 to 70% mark. And the reason for this is you're going to be pre-qualifying your audience. People who watch 75% or more, there's even an option in Facebook for 95%. They're interested in what you have to say. They didn't stick around to hear you talk about whatever it is that you're talking about unless they were somewhat interested in the topic. People have a lot of stuff to do. They're busy on the internet. So if you were able to capture their attention, and if you have a longer video, so if it's a 2-minute video, then you don't need 75%. You could try only 50%. You could play around with it depending upon the length. The video that you're going to do, you're going to target only on mobile. And that's not to say that desktop traffic is not great. You can get a lot of good traffic from desktop, but it's way more competitive. And since you are testing out this strategy, you want to make sure that you're targeting the cheapest traffic available. And think about it, there's 2 billion people on Facebook, but 1.8 billion access it on their mobile phone. So when you're trying to target people just on desktop, it's just going to be more expensive. So start off by doing your retargeting campaign with people who watch 75% or more of the video, use mobile, and don't start the second campaign, the retargeting one, until you have at least 1,000 people in that custom audience that have watched that first video. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. If not, send me an email and I can clarify that for you. The reason is because if you have less than 1,000 people, it becomes a really, really small audience, and Facebook's algorithm is going to struggle to deliver because those 1,000 people are not online nonstop. They're checking in through different times of the day, and you want to give the Facebook algorithm some space to be able to pace out your ad. So there it is. You're going to shoot the 60-second video. You're going to pick one of those topics that I mentioned. You're going to make sure that you're, personable, that you're casual. You're going to make it look native so that when people see it, it looks like something that their friend could be posting. Use some other resources if you absolutely can't see yourself on video, or, use some sort of presentation or a screen share where you're sharing something extremely valuable so that they can stick around. out and make sure that you have a pattern disrupt. All right. So now I want you to take action and I want you to make your 60-second video. And I would love to see it. Feel free to, email it to me and just be like, hey, what do you think? And I can give you some feedback, because this is really, it's not a tough thing to do. And the first time I did it, I felt really, really awkward. And I was just like, oh, this is so awful. Like, I hate looking at myself like on camera and stuff. But if you just record it a few times, walk around your house, get comfortable, act as if you're talking to your mom or your friend, and, just be yourself. I guarantee you that people are going to resonate with that. And they're going to be like, hey, I could see myself working with this person. All right, so that's it for day 3. I hope you understand how powerful this strategy is. You are essentially going to be taking all the cold traffic that is on Facebook, and you are going to be pre-qualifying them with this, 60-second video that basically only your ideal customers are going to want to watch. Then you're going to direct them to that lead magnet or to that webinar, and people are going to be able to sign up for something that you have that, again, is going to connect directly to your offer. So you're not going to be filling up your list with these people who are either just freebie seekers and are never ever going to buy from you. So I hope that makes sense. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. Get the checklist underneath this video. It outlines everything that we talked about in this day. And tomorrow, we're actually going to go into the ads manager, and we're going to put everything together that we've talked about in the last 3 days. Because honestly, the tech side of creating your ads is the last thing that you need to be worried about. People are always like, oh, how do I pick the budget or do this or do that and create this audience? Like, yeah, that's important. But if you don't have the things that I've discussed in days 1, 2, and today, then whatever you're doing inside the ads manager is irrelevant. So tomorrow I'll show you the tech side of things, and we can actually press launch, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I hope that you will take action, film the video, and I will see you for day 4 tomorrow.